Hey guys, I recently went to my friend's Mark Teo's Mastermind where he actually helped people build a lifestyle business up to 20, 30K a month. And we actually talked to around 30, 40 over people in a classroom actually wanting to learn more about the EverGrowth Flywheel. And I just want to actually share this presentation with you as well. And this is the accumulation of the knowledge that I've learned across my 4 years running an agency, 7-figure agency, generating over 30 million results for all my clients, and also actually generating close to $1 million for myself in the past few years as well. I realized that the EverGrowth Flywheel, as you're going to see in the presentation a few minutes later, is one of the easiest and also the best methods to actually get upsized trust, returns, authority, and positioning in the market without spending over too much money on ads, without actually going out there trying to meet new people, trying to actually cold outbound people as well. And also, it actually utilizes what I call blue ocean positioning in nowadays on YouTube as well. So it's just basically a few simple ads and YouTube ecosystem, and that allows many of my clients to generate upsized returns on their business without ever touching webinar, without any of the fancy funnels, and still get 3, 4, 5, 10x returns from their ads. If you want to know how, actually watch my presentation on the entire process that I'm going to bring you through and explain why it's so powerful in this day and age.
So the entire core concept of today, right, for every one of you guys, if you guys don't run ads, it's fine. Just take one thing, right? One idea might generate you maybe 4,000, 5,000, whatever it may be. And sometimes, most of the time, when I go for seminars, go for talks, that one idea really generate me that amount of money, right? Same thing with like what Mark says. Think of it, does it apply to your business? Don't change because I say so, right? But rather, is it within your lifestyle, your business that you want? And whether do you want to execute on that? Do you have the skills for that as well? Right, let me just see whether this works. Okay, so who's this for? Typically anybody online doing online business, you agency owners, B2B service providers, anybody who's a salesperson, coach, consultants, experts, online business owners. The most problems happen online is one, right? You stress every day thinking of how to actually get more leads and clients. How many of you are thinking like that? I think majority of people will be like that, even including me myself, right? So you try most funnel and performance strategy, right? So how many of you agree that got agency come to you say, hey, just do this formula, you confirm get leads, right? If you get pitched by them, and if you try and pay money to them, sometimes you don't get results. It is normal. It's not because the agency sucks, but sometimes it doesn't resonate with what your current strategy is, doesn't resonate with your business, right? So just brief background of who am I. So I generated over 30 plus million for my clients and myself. I ran an agency previously called Hyperfame and left that agency already. We built 7 figures through that agency through mainly YouTube advertising. So if you see a lot of YouTube ads during COVID, that might be my fault, right? So don't blame me. So yeah, they can earn money, can already, right? So that's the goal, right? So also lead big and small teams, be a solopreneur. I've been a solopreneur myself. I led many copywriters, digital marketers and stuff like that. Also consult many of the big brands that you guys know. I also do many different type of offers, right? So real estate, there's MLM, there is financial, insurance, all this stuff. Even brick and mortar, like salon, spa and stuff like that. Okay, so the core understanding of like why the market is now harder and harder is cost per lead is actually rising a lot, right? Even if you don't run ads, when you talk to people, when you talk to them, they will say, why are you messaging me? Especially when you do outbound. When they don't know you, they don't trust you, they think that you're trying to sell them something all the time, and especially when there's a lot of people overseas trying to pitch them stuff, you become the same level of authority as them. So when you go to somebody's inbox, say, hey, I got something to sell you, they will just say no, right? It's like a door salesman. Unless you're very, very good at doing that, majority of the time, people will say it's a numbers game, right? Technically, it is a numbers game, but you also need to understand how many numbers can you expire before you reach your goal, right? Imagine there's only, as an agency owner, business has only 100 businesses. I talk to all 100, then what's next? I cannot do anything else, right? So the goal is actually how do you reach beyond that and actually gain more trust, gain more authority, and actually convert people better, right? So there are always 5 problems in a business that I identify. Is that first one is actually weak positioning, right? So if you think to yourself, are you exactly the same as your competitor? If you are, that is like consider, if I compare A versus B, I just change your face, there's no difference, right? Then you must solve that problem, right? So the second one is a rising cost per attention, obviously rising equally time and money that you spend online and hiring people as well, right? So then there's also the 7-11-4 rule by Google. That is something that I'll explain later. And then you're generating leads, but you see that, hey, cannot close. You talk to them, they ignore you, they ghost you, right? Last one is inconsistent. Lead flow means like one day, maybe 1 month you get 5, next month you get 1, then you like complain to your agency or you think to yourself, what am I doing wrong, right? Okay, so this growth killers happen no matter you're big, you're small, you're giant, you have a lot of team members, doesn't matter, right? So every businesses face the same problem. And then I've seen people who are generating over 8 figures and then they close down in 4 months. So that's why. And you got see people doing a lot of money. They change suddenly the whole entire business model. They sell maybe crypto, then become AI, then become something else. Why? Because cannot earn money. Answer very simple, right? You know money, you cannot run business. So that's the reason exactly why, because they don't solve this problem fundamentally in your business, right? Okay, this is very small, right? Okay, but in general, if you don't have great positioning, basically like I said just now, you change your face, right? So today, today I tell you I help you all run ads, right? Today I just say I help you run ads. How many of you know another 10 people that help you run ads? Now, okay, then I change the positioning, I run ads, but now I run in a different strategy. Then maybe you think like a bit different. Other than that, you add one more step. Either make it more complicated, make it simpler, or you can change the audience. Later, I'm going to go through like my entire positioning framework, make it very, very simple in a formula. So you can actually change one part, and become a bit more special than your competitor. Right? I can send you a slide so you guys can don't take pictures. Right, so next one is rising cost per attention, right? So I think if you run ads or if you work in a company that ran ads before, every single year your boss will say, wow, ad costs more and more expensive, can I reduce? Or like my clients will complain next day, like, hey, why last week $10 to this week $20? Then I also cannot reply because Facebook want to do that, right? Sometimes. You can test as many things as you want, but if you have a good business that can always beat the margins of the other business, no matter what you do, you'll be profitable. Right? So, see, 10 to 15% increase ad cost can actually reduce your margins like quite effectively, maybe 20, 30, 50% sometimes, right? So, there's always a better way, and I'm going to show you the better way in a while. And then there's trust recession, right? So, nowadays, when you see so many ads on YouTube, what do? Skip, or you complain to your friends, right? Say, hey, why this guy keep appearing on my Facebook? Is this a scam, right? Or what do you say? Like, really true or not, right? So, all these questions over here, then you see review on financial, property, all the other gurus. Then you also take a pinch of salt. So what is this called? This is called your customer journey. So when you run ads, right? If you've got bad reviews, got other things, people go and search, what happens? The trust is at an all-time low. So when you think that you try to sell them, that's the next step that they do. They don't buy, right? So you need to bridge that gap right now, which I call. So a lot of people say they can spend more money to actually bridge that gap. That is true to a certain extent. But if you don't have money, then how, right? You engineer the process yourself by kind of like controlling the environment rather than letting them do whatever they want. If you let them do whatever they want, basically they search all the bad things, they won't buy if they see all the bad things on you already. Right? So fourth one is low quality leads. This one, a lot of complaints. So how many people talk to someone that ghosted you before? I think please say everyone. If not, you're not talking to enough people. So low quality just means you think they are low quality. A majority of the time they are not. It's just they don't consume enough information from you. They don't know what you buy, or they're in the wrong stage of their process, right? So maybe they think they want to solve this problem, but they're not ready yet, but they just opt in, right? So you want to actually be top of mind until they're ready as well, majority of the time. So you don't waste money, time, effort on the lead, right? So last one is inconsistent lead flow. I think majority have this issue. So one day 1, next day 5, next day 10. Then you think like, how do I hit that rate, right? The easy answer for this is that what actions are you doing daily? Let's just say you every single day when you need the money, what happens? You talk to 100 people. Suddenly you got like, let's say 10K. Then the next month, you talk to 5. What happened then? Yeah, precisely, right? So this is a very simple problem to solve. But at the time, you need to talk to more people. More people equals to, more opportunities, more closers, right? So like what Daniel said just now, that what is non-negotiable is like talking to 7 people like in a week or a day. Then you can actually really keep that non-negotiable, especially for marketing itself. Okay, so last point I want to say is for everybody, this is a big problem, right? Shiny funnel syndrome. You are one funnel away. So how you define one funnel away, right? Is it you do 100 funnels, then one funnel make work? Or is it you just focus on one? Yes, focus on one. So do not get into a trap like, oh, this guru say low ticket offers. This guru say do webinar. This guru say do VSL. This guru say do lead magnet. This guru say so on. As long as one work for you, right? Just focus on it, right? The main thing that you don't do is the depth of it, right? I have done clients with only webinars. I've done clients with only, they just do lead magnet, then they set appointment, then they close. They do VSL. They just send on emails and they make money. So like I see all works in a certain extent. It's just how extensive you are at making it work, right? That is my firm belief, right? I don't believe that one funnel rules everything. Obviously, different situation demands different things. But if you have a great offer, any funnel technically will work. Okay, so how do people really buy? Right, that's what I talk about. They click on an ad, they read the landing page, they search your brand up on Google, they watch reviews, your video, follow you social media, hop in your get some freebie, talk to a friend in the industry about you, see whether good or bad, decide to buy when they see an email story targeting ad from you, right? So typically, sometimes people here, then they go down here, right? Or they buy immediately. How many percent do you think buys immediately? 5, 3, maybe 3 to 5 if you are very, very good, often not very bad. So if you look at economic sense, 97 people don't ever buy anything from you unless you do something about it, right? So most of them, in a very easy to understand manner, are not ready. So you just need to slowly make them ready in a general sense, right? So anyway, right? So you see this traffic funnel client, this is usually 3%, like at here, converting to a client. So I think a lot of gurus talk about the problems. Right, so there's low quality leads, there's a lot of objections, there's price sensitive, your price more expensive than other people, They're shopping around, they're not even ready, unsure what do they really want and what's your value. So if people ask why so expensive, usually your value is not portrayed or projected to them enough. They're skeptical of you because they just saw you one time. If I just meet you as a friend, you ask me to lend you money, I will lend you or not. Maybe not. Right? Same thing. Right? Unproven sales process, not enough follower, and no top of mind. So how do we solve these problems? Typically, we create a flywheel. So we want to use traffic and lead to trust, right? So if you see me long enough on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you become my friend, right? But you never see me in person, right? So imagine, let's just talk about Tony Robbins, Russell Brunson, Iman Ghazi, Alex Hormozi. When you meet them, you become fans and friends because you internalize everything they say, right? 100 million offers. If you go out and tell him 100 million offers, more or less you will buy anything that he sells, if you have the money, right? So that's the entire core of the EverGrowth Flywheel, right? Then it leads for easier conversions. So how many you take closing, right? If you're on a sales call, it takes 15 minutes for you to close. If they watch like every single video, do you think it takes like, they just ask what's the price? Then they maybe just give you the credit card and buy because they already know they want to buy, right? So these are the buyers that are already ready, understanding what you offer already, because majority of the time your content is actually built that for you. And then if you have great fulfillment, you can have better word of mouth that leads to a compounding effect, right? So that's the business that we want. We want a lifestyle that is like, for me, it's like very, very simple. And then if you can keep to the simple actions every single day, you'll get fantastic results. Okay, so this is the version 1, right, of the EverGrowth Flywheel. I see it, right? My take when I started doing this is that I realized this short form content, growth ads, then prospecting and partnerships. The problem with this is that I feel that if you are starting out at around 5, 10, 20k a month, it's too much work for you to do, right? So I decided to simplify even more, right? So the simplified version is just you run ads or you do prospecting, then you retarget, and then you do content, and then you convert through your conversion mechanisms, which I talk more about, and they become your client, and then they buy more stuff from you, recurring client. Right? So this simple thing is basically they know you, they watch more of you, they convert through your conversion, they become your client, right? Very, very simple. Rather than the previous one, you feel like you need to do a lot of work, right? So I realized that some of my clients maybe don't want to do certain actions, then we make it simplified even more so that we can get higher success rate as well, right? So the thing is that what you want to do is that you want to lead prospect to know and understand differentiation of product and services. You want to generate more like ready to buy leads if you build a system. You don't want to worry about CPL, cost per lead, and you want to get more profit margins, right? You don't worry about leads. Your leads cannot convert into clients, and your word of mouth becomes so strong that people come to you to buy, right? That's the entire goal. Is that if today I ask Mark about you, he can instantly recommend you to me based on whatever you do, right? And that happens gradually. Everybody will know about you and talk about you. So that was what exactly happened when I ran the YouTube ads agency. When I did a bit of interviews. The next day, like almost the entire Malaysia guru market, not next day but all come to me, right? It's not because I have a great offer and I had great word of mouth as well, right? Okay, so traffic, right? A very easy understanding. Okay, the reason why I only choose these 3 is because this is the simplest to do. It takes the least amount of, if you hire someone, you can pay them not a lot, like $1,000 to $1,500, can below $1,000 sometimes. And if they don't know how to run, this is like the basic ads, right? And majority of the time, what I'm trying to do is that get you guys views, right? Then views convert to leads convert to clients. So for YouTube discovery and IG growth ads, just imagine you just click one button, you boost posts, right? It's not that simple for the YouTube, but it's basically that. If you look at my ads, I'm running in my YouTube channel, I'm running a lot. A lot of people think that I get it organically. I don't get it organically. I just run ads. Why? Because how many of you want to be a content creator, right? Okay, but how many think like your first video can like 10,000 views? Very hard. So what I do instead is I don't want to always be thinking about, hey, what's the packaging, what's the idea, or this, how do I make it go viral? Do I do day in the life of what? I do day 1 challenge or 100k. I can, but it's very tiring. But you want to run a business that works automatically for you. You create great content, maybe presentation like what Mark is doing, and then like information, and then you run ads to it and get the right people to view it, right? If they view it, they like it, the next necessary step, maybe they opt in, right? So that's the entire goal. And then lead magnet ads, a lot of people don't like this. I ran this for a lot of clients and it usually generates outsized returns compared to direct conversions. And just because you build time with them, you build top of mind with them, right? So how many of you opt into a webinar before? After webinar, you still remember who are they? Okay, a lot of hands down, right? If you attend the webinar, you'll remember who are they. If you never attend, you still remember you opt in. No, right? So that's the thing, right? Because most of the people want, hey, I just get you on a webinar, I sell to you. Instantly, I make money. But reality nowadays is like, it's harder and harder because it's not cheap. Last time it's very, very cheap. Now it's like expensive. So I go with this is considered the cheapest and most value for money in terms of the strategy that I've done. And you get a lead, they convert maybe in 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, depending on the situation, right? If it's a more sophisticated lead, I tell you how to scale the formula I have. So positioning equal audience times message and delivery times authority and times top of mind, right, in your platform. So indirectly, if you change one of them different to your biggest competitor, you might be able to become blue ocean, right? So let me explain more. Audience, usually I say in a very, very simple manner, three levels of wealth, right? So are they beginner, are they established, or are they cream of the crop? So I'll give you an example. If I run consulting, for beginners, I teach what? How to start a business. For established, maybe what do I do? How to get to 30, 40, 50K. Cream of the crop, how to scale with a team. And I train the team, right? So there's a different level of problems that appear at different levels of wealth. And then there's a niche and type of audience that you're selecting. So example, real estate agent, investors, or home buyers. Like, as much as you can, you want to differentiate. So there's a lot of people right now in agency space, especially running a social media agency. They target what? Interior design or salons. So if you go into a new in a space like that and brand new, you target the same people, how likely are you to get the audience to buy from you? Very unlikely. So what do? You just change the audience, change to something else that nobody touches. Then what happens next? Everybody comes to you because there's nobody serving them, and then basically you have a free pool of audience that want to buy from you, especially if you can solve the problems that they are facing, right? So message and delivery is how you talk about the problems your ideal client face, right? So how do you reframe the problem? Example is that need cheaper leads, need more leads, then need more time management, need to do more in less time, right? So need more money to retire faster. Right? So these are reframes. Maybe you need more revenue. You can hear need more appointments. There are ways to reframe it. And then the delivery that you do is usually for us. It's done for you, done with you, and do it yourself, right? So there's difference. So some people want maybe a book to learn about how to do things. Some people maybe want a course, a coaching, or some people want like an agency to do everything for them, right? So especially in a marketing space, there's only one that did it in the Done With You previously, and that was Gabriel, right? So how do you think he fared? Very good, right? And then he also do Done For You and do yourself, right? So this is like a full suite as well. So indirectly, if you position or deliver differently, this is the concept that you can do. This delivery came from supplements, right? So how do you differentiate supplements is how you intake the supplement. You intake what? Liquid, jelly, gummy, Evernest, the water, coffee, tea, powder form, right? If I just take one ingredient, I change the delivery 5 times, I can create 5 different products that people will buy. And people will feel it's, when I take it, I feel different, right? That's entirely the concept. Authority, this will be the very, very simple one. PR, newspaper, results, testimonials, proximity to other great people. So if you're in a network of very, very good people, basically people also think you're great. Your various stages, this is all like in terms of psychology. And then consumption of content, right? Top of mind is usually organic or paid. It's just based on the customer journey, right? So basically, where you appear, right? If you are always on social media, then your purpose on social media is to retarget them, means reappear on their feed, to be remembered that you are doing something. And then when they remember that you are doing something, they might be the right time, right place to buy from you, right? That's entirely. The intensity portion is how intense you want it to be, right? So last time when I meet clients, I add LinkedIn, I talk to them on WhatsApp, and then on Facebook, social media. And then I consistently get them maybe freebies. I talk to them, I be around them in different groups and network groups, and basically keep uploading them into like maybe ads itself, and then retarget them again. Right? This is super intensive, but maybe you can limit to like maybe 1 or 2 things that you can do more consistently. Right? So it's a bit hard to read. So red ocean to blue ocean is highly competitive, hard to differentiate. People hate certain things here, and you move them into a different marketing or offer and focus on the problem the red ocean has. Right? So that's how you do. Differentiate by one of the components, or maybe you can want to change all, up to you. I will highly recommend one first before you do more than that. So because e-commerce brand has shown this, right? If you look at Prime, look at Beast Burgers, Feastables, Chamberlain Coffee, Kino Body. These are some big brands, even Gymshark and other places. That YouTube subscribers actually outweighs other platform followers, right? And this is proven by all this because they built the freaking company on the back of just their YouTube subscribers, right? And a lot of the companies that built through here are instantly successful. And the reason why is that you can look at the YouTube subscribers is actually they spend way more time on your videos. Imagine you watch so many videos of like Logan Paul. I think you don't mind buying a $4 drink, but yeah, you just try it. And then if you like it, you continue buying. If you're a fan of him, you'll buy. Same for Beast Burgers and Feastables. It's just like a brand. So now you're just stamping a stamp of approval to your company. So that's why I mean that people have spending power, especially on YouTube. People are in different state in YouTube, and people, obviously it's like television, right? So the late night TVs, the top shows that you watch, if they recommend a product, usually people will buy much more consistently. And that's the entire concept. YouTube technically is TV right now. Yeah, so learn, technically video is the only way people can see how you look and hear your voice lah. So if you always just see how I write, then you don't know how I speak. Then maybe I speak very high pitch, then you go, yeah, you get what I mean? So you want to actually create content that consistently get you used to their voice, how you look, how you portray your personality type as well, right? Content equals trust. People can binge watch all your video, right? So how many of you go through this buying process before? You watch one single thing, you go through all their videos on YouTube, then you buy something, right? So this is what I mean. I do it myself, then I realize that, oh, maybe I can use this for myself, right? So serve as the middle of funnel, so it's in between everything. And when you get more traffic from everywhere else, you just filter through this process, and then it becomes very, very simple. Right, so there's a better way to do content. If you're not a content creator but a business owner and you don't want to be stuck thinking about doing content every day, I understand how you guys feel because I am the same. And you do not want to force people to content. Basically, I message you every day. I list new content. Watch. Annoying. Right, so you start with one. Right, so if you do YouTube videos, your pillar content. Everything else is a repurpose. Right, so if you do emails, can you do this to here? Can create 3 emails. Do here, can create like 10 maybe short form videos. Do here, maybe 3 more threads. Carousel, same as a thread, so basically just picture. Picture plus copy, maybe you do a longer form and just put a random picture here. Maybe on your lifestyle or whatever you do. Animation, that one you pay a bit money. IG and Facebook story, basically you can write it, put a picture on it, slap. Right? So if I do all this, right, you think everyone will watch every single thing? Maybe you come here, maybe see your email, maybe you see a picture, a copy, then that's all, right? So that's the goal, right? If people think that this is a lot of work, yeah, just choose like 1 to 2 that you can easily repurpose yourself with AI or whatever that you can do, and then basically you'll be top of mind. So most people do this, this one, then this one they create another new one, this one create another new one. Very tiring. We are not a full-on business production house. We don't have 10 people serving, doing edits, right? So basically you want to do as simple as possible and as, leverageable as possible, right? So YouTube in-feed ads, right? So this is an example. So this, you look at this, right? This is on your phone or on the, YouTube home feed, that they put ad. So this is a sneaky trick I use to create opportunities, right? So it appears like a normal YouTube video on your homepage and suggestion when you watch similar videos. And it follows you around when you're watching YouTube. Right time, right place. Okay, specifically you're watching YouTube at right time, right place. Cost per video views are roughly below 8 cents, so it's very, very cheap. You can run $100 a month if you really, really want. And just to retarget people that you talk to. That's also possible. So you can retarget various customer journey and then build trust and value-based follow-up automatically. So instead of them saying, I show you the video, they say, hey, I saw your video. Then when you open a conversation, it's easier, right? When they actually happen to do that. Okay, so besides YouTube and ads, right? Email is the most overlooked way. So most of you might have an email list, might be 100, 200 subscribers. And that's okay. Most of the time, just consistently email them, make them consume more information, consume more YouTubes. And if you're really creating one content pillar, I think you just do it because it's the next easiest step that you can do, right? So as much as people don't like doing it, especially the clients that I work with, they are 7 figures and they don't like doing it, even though they can hire people to do it. It has generated me 5 to 20x returns every single month. And it's the only thing that generates me that. Even I don't run ads, right? Like for some clients, they can make like 50K, right? Because their list is so big, right? So if you have a smaller list, obviously it's harder. But what I thing that you guys need to understand is that compound interest, and if you have more and more leads ongoing and the daily actions that you do, you reach a stage whereby you send one email, maybe you can feel what your goal number is for your entire business, right? And that's the entire goal, right? So you need to do over and over again, and when you reach a stage whereby, hey, I want clients, I just send one email, then I get clients. And this is the entire how you can do it over a period of time, right? I have known clients 5 years, 20 years, they amass 20, 30, 50K lists, and they really need to just send one email but never send before. They send one, then they make money, right? So they constantly send, they make no more and more every single month. So that's the entire goal, right? So the last part is conversions, right? So I think most of you understand this is a 100 million offer. So I call this a 100 million offer syndrome, right? What I mean is that guarantees and jaded, right? So if you most of the time say how many you want to get to $1 million in 90 days, guaranteed. You believe no, right? Now no lah. So maybe you change the fulfillment to maybe with something that you never know before. Then maybe I think maybe possible, right? But majority of the time we don't I don't really like this because every kid I would say they're doing agency now is guaranteeing something that's not possible, right? So instead of doing that, it's like you want to do in terms of understanding how do you create more trust and value to people, and then use that inclusive of this formula, right? But just don't promise too much, right? Do it attainable, realistic, and then be relatable as well. Right? So if you are doing more towards like small business owners, then you relate to them and get the results for them rather than say, hey, you can earn 1 million next year. Then they look at you, they shag because they try 5 people that say the same thing and they all fail. Then they assume that you will fail as well. So you want to change that. Yeah. So ad cost makes it even more business more difficult. Competitors usually do as well, and you require to position different, sell differently, and convert differently. Right? So how do you convert differently is through different offers, right? So this is my kind of offer stack. Core recurring offer is your high ticket, means your main thing, and then easy repeatable offer is low margin, low fulfillment, high margins, great demonstration of what you do. Typically you can be done with workshops, like what Mark is doing. So you can do a 2-3 hour workshop. And then last one will be low entry or free lead magnet, because this is the cheapest way to get people into your ecosystem besides content, talking to people, and other things. Right? So what is the demo offer? Right? So instead of showing just the what and not the how, we actually create a full value base. Means I teach you as though you are my client, and then you just give everything away, but only that one outcome that you promise. one. You don't give everything, right? So example, if I do YouTube, it'll be either I teach you how to script, I give you the strategy, or I give you the ads only, right? Only that one specific thing. Then what happens next after you go through this tree? How to do the rest? Yeah, good for you. But how do you do the rest, right? If you are interested in how do I do the rest of the strategy to get clients, then they'll ask you, do you have anything to help, right? Then you have something to help them, they'll buy, right? Because they like already the strategy itself. If sometimes people don't like, it's also fine. But the concept is that a buyer is better than a lead, right? They buy something for you, they might buy again. And they vote with their wallets rather than just say, I want, right? So converted somebody who tasted something of like your coaching and services better than somebody who's a lead. And all you got to do is to ask. Right? Sometimes no need to like do a full-on pitch, do a webinar, whatever. Just ask you want or not. Right? Sometimes just a very, very casual ask, and where are you stuck with? And that's where there's a place where I actually come from for most of my time. Right? Okay. Before I go through all that, any questions?
Okay, so I know it's good session. So I think for those people in marketing, you guys know how it went around, how challenging it is. So okay, so I just want to share very quickly, right, based on what I've done after working with Bryan so far. And you guys can be observing, right, to a more practical level. I started YouTube. How many people is finding videos?
Consistent.
Do more video, everything out it. Right, so YouTube, number 2, emails, how to direct it now? Daily, right? I'm happy to do it, right? Some people, you don't have to do it daily, that's totally fine. Right, so again, email and my email and YouTube usually topics are similar as well. And then my social media posting, I see daily. Right, so on a practical level, did I implement everything that Bryan said over the past 45 minutes? No, take it one at a time. Right, I didn't do everything. I haven't run YouTube ads and stuff, which is like, time to start soon. Right? Okay, so we do have some time. So if you have any questions to ask Bryan, and this is stream opportunity was games quite not that cheap. Alright, so any questions you guys might have for Bryan when it comes to marketing business and very strategic, cool.
Very insightful. So two questions. The first question is, for those of us with already a social media presence, even 2,000 people let's say on Facebook and on Telegram, but we are not present in other channels like Instagram, YouTube. Like, how do you suggest or advise that we start prioritizing building out? Like, do we just capitalize on our existing one, and like, how do we build it out into the other channels? So that's my first question.
That is a good question, because like some of you maybe are not present on different platforms. Reason why you do more platforms is not because you need to do on social media, but rather if you search your name on Google, multiple platforms of yours appear so that they can follow you certain places, they see what you're doing. Right? So mainly just to get them to see what you're doing. For you, if you're doing pillar content, which is like words, right? You write certain things already, I will highly advise you to at least start with Instagram first, and then think about how you can repurpose whatever you wrote into a presentation for YouTube. So you do not need to double do certain things, right? I don't like doing more work, especially when you're smaller. That's the first stage that I will do. Once you get big enough, you want to really grow it like to 100k, million, then you hire a team. Right? So that's the first stage. And then secondly, if you have certain things that you do specifically, then you want to write that as your main core focus. Let's just say investing, financial stuff or whatever. Then you can put your name and then the core focus, right? But if you as a personal brand, just put your full name or however you call yourself out there, then people will search for that more often. Yeah. So sometimes people, like if Adam Khoo, they write Adam Khoo. Sometimes people's like, what other names are there? Branded names. Finance with Caleb, let's just say example. Right? Then they search finance with Caleb, not his full name, because they don't know his full name. So you want to brand according to whatever you put as your main focus really. Yeah. So you just think of it from that standpoint. Everything needs to be the same. Yeah.
And then the second question is, for example, if let's say we have two tracks of focus, the two pillars, right? So
Yep.
let's say one is stock investing and the second one is business consulting. Do you recommend that we can create content and be posting it on the same channel to increase the chances of cross-selling and cross-pollination? Or do you recommend that we set up different channels, very specifically one for investing and then one for business consulting?
I think this question is to think about, are you willing to combine both into a different perspective? For example, would be you only target business people to invest. That's one. Like, how do you combine both? If you want to separate into different types of people, then yes, two audience would be advisable. But it will be very, very hard to differentiate, because when I search for you, both will pop up if you brand both the same way. Yeah, so I will likely either you combine into one, then find a way to actually blend both together. Meaning like, how do you look into business insights as a consultant to actually invest. So that might be a way that you use it to your own unique strategy. And rather than, that's a unique way of presenting financials rather than investing on its own and business on its own. Right? So reason why I say that is that like if you do both, offers and focus will be split into both, and sometimes one might be better than the other and you will just abandon one most of the time because you see more success, the dopamine hits, and then more money come into one, and then more or less you will stop or slowly retire the other one. So I'd rather you try to combine both. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Last one.
Yeah. No.
Is there an optimum length of the video on YouTube? You know, where the attention of the viewer is at its optimal? Because, for example, I do Facebook Live, and my Facebook Live goes quite in depth, like 45 minutes to 55 minutes. Sometimes I wonder if I should, you know, also go live on YouTube together, but I'm not too sure if the audience, you know, kind of like needs the attention because it's quite long, right? So, is there an optimal duration?
I would say there's optimal duration, doesn't really matter to me. What matters more is, okay, if you do YouTube long enough, and I paid a lot of people for like consulting, a lot of strategy, like a lot of money. Then the more I learn, the more I realize it's a very stupid answer, right? The answer is demand and supply. Demand and supply, right? So basically, if a lot of people are doing market outlook like you, they are 45 minutes. Do I want to hear another hour or 45 minutes of market outlook? The answer is yes or no? No. If you can condense in 5 minutes, what happens? More people watch. So if you think about it in this way, like it's very simple, very supply and demand. If a lot of gurus are doing 1 hour, maybe you shouldn't do 1 hour if you're new because maybe you have very little views. So what you can do is consistently maybe you do like 15 minutes, quick, fast, dirty. Then if you want to do an hour one, maybe you do somewhere else, and it's okay to do it, right? So that's how I think, because maybe you get different type of audience than other people, and then you can really stand out from the rest. So that's more on like strategy point of view. In terms of duration, it depends on a lot of things, right? In YouTube on its own, same thing, right? For some people, if you want to do a tutorial, how fast do you want it to be? ASAP. You don't want them to talk about their life story, what they do, blah, blah, blah. You just tell me how to click, right? That's the main goal, right? 5 minutes, tell me how to click. 1 minute, tell me how to click. Then your views will exponentially increase, right? Second part is, if a person do a tutorial on a very big strategy, obviously you want hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 6 hour. So you have seen 6 hour videos but have 50k views, right? And you think like, that's insane. But that's not insane, because everybody that do that strategy has a lot of search, a lot of volume, but zero supply. And then when you post, it just goes viral, right? Not viral, but like it goes to the right audience, they view the right time, they view enough and long enough. Right? So that's the thing that you can look at. So I condense down to just demand and supply. Last time people talk like, what, demand, supply, I don't know what, economical, I don't understand. So I just say like that, it's easier. Right? If you really think of in that strategy, it's much easier to plan out what strategy you want to do, and then you can attack it based on what you are good at already. Yeah.
Very last question, huh? Where I see you as a person. Actually, I really like the way I think the first one because I remember now, I think probably I'm at the moment where my business is at, you know. So, the moment I have right now is probably I have clients, I will go, it's like I'm not looking for them in a way to become their market player and do one man efficiency, like serving 3 to 4 clients at the same time. So I would actually like to ask, how do they just do it at the moment of time when you started your own agency? People want to help you to do
how they buy, why do they buy from me? Is it?
I mean, it's like how you start doing your business as a business and you probably do where,
Scale agency, okay.
Where you are right now, scale to consult people.
Scale, the answer is just systemizing prospecting and sales. But the problem with agency is fulfillment and not sales. So that is the problem, not sales. Why? Because you one man show, how many max clients can you take? Okay, you try take 10, you will every day cry because you don't need to sleep, don't need to eat, don't need to do anything else. Yeah, but so answer, you need to, okay, so for me, right, is choose one particular thing that's highly easy to scale. So a lot of people, okay, so there's reasons why, right? You see very big agencies, right? Super huge, right? They do landing page, graphic design, all these things, right? Don't do that. You want your life to be simple, don't do that. Right? So you choose one particular fulfillment and then you do it over and over and over and over again so that it's easy for you to fulfill. And then what happens next? Do you need very good people to hire to fulfill? If you got good SOPs, right? So I'll give you an example. Short form content agency, easy or hard to do? Then compared to you. Easier, right? Because it's like okay, I have this SOP, I need to find this amount of clicks, I need to edit in this way. So then you condense down. But if for performance marketing, right, majority of the time it's freaking difficult. Because why? This client is in another niche, that client in another niche, got another funnel, then tell me got another problem, don't want to show face, then this one, that, then you like, wow, headache. So every person need you. You cannot be replaced unless you find somebody that are you. But what happens when you find somebody that are you? They want more money. Then the margins don't make sense, then the entire thing collapse. Yeah. So find something that is easy to do, leverageable, and then that is also new to a certain extent. Which is why like my suggestion next time for agency owners is not to do performance marketing, but rather do content, do WhatsApp AI, which now every Tom, Dick, and Harry is doing. What else? More different things, right? And also target different targets. So you're doing performance, right? I won't target new. I target established, and then maybe create certain difference in my fulfillment.
Yeah, I mean, currently right now my clients are all probably established just in some ways. Just that I find that probably they are all in different niches, so I have to a bit still.
Okay, so two ways of getting. One is get more clients. The other way is get more rev share, profit share as a partner. So you go through the other way. That's the only way. The problems with rev share and profit share is a lot of problems legally. You need to protect yourself. But I honestly tell you, if a person you earn monthly more than 30k for each client, they will drop you. Confirm drop you. Doesn't make sense, right? I also will drop. Because I pay you 30k, maybe you make me 150k. I can hire 2 people to replace you less than 30k. But logically speaking, right, you understand this is the because everything is about cost and profit margin. Unless the guy don't really care, very friend with you and just want to do a small business, that is fine. But if they want to scale, want to grow, want to do all this, your cost wouldn't make sense to them at a certain level. And I experienced it like a few times because I take a lot, right? Then either you negotiate down or put a fixed cost. So the problems with that is that you need to be small, you need to target like certain type of pay and keep replacing. So agency is usually a churn. There's no way out of it unless you do sell other products. Yeah. So maybe you want to think which direction you want to go as well. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of applause for Bryan, right? For sharing.